Hello and welcome to the True North Show. I'm your host, Megan North, and I'd like to start by thanking the sponsors of the show, Quantum Awakening, Beth Lewis, Anne C. Clark, and my guest who paid to be featured. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Jo Brooks, an incredible woman who has spent nearly 30 years in business and education, and most of the time watching brilliant people fall into the same trap. They are so good at what they do that they end up stuck doing it one client at a time. Jo's work is about freeing them from that. Through her Gold Coast business, Navigate, Jo helps founders, coaches, and subject matter experts make the leap from one-to-one to one-to-many, taking the expertise locked inside their heads and building it into courses, programs, and systems that serve far more people without burning out the expert. Her philosophy, however, was forged the hard way. Jo once built a significant business fast by collaborating with the very people she was meant to compete against, then watched it move through a 7-year liquidation. That long and very public undoing could have ended her, but instead it became the foundation of everything she now teaches. Out of that experience came her guiding philosophy, circle over competition, and her signature collaborate framework, a deep belief that we rise further together than we ever will, elbowing each other out of the way. Since then, Jo has founded more than 17 businesses and earned her MBA. But what most people remember about Jo is not the numbers. It's the way she keeps choosing courage over certainty. As she puts it to herself, courage to begin, discipline to build, wisdom to let go, and grace to receive. She is still becoming, and she loves the journey. Jo, welcome to the True North Show. I'm just really, really thrilled that you're here today.
What a wonderful introduction. Thank you. I'm excited.
You're very welcome. So Jo built something significant, watched it go through a 7-year liquidation in full public view, and then got back up and built again 17 more times. Stay with us because after the commercial break, Jo is going to share what that journey really taught her about resilience and collaboration. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with business builder, educator, and founder of Navigate, Jo Brooks. And what will follow is a conversation about courage, collaboration, and what it truly takes to keep going when everything falls apart. So, Jo, let's start right at the beginning. What was the defining moment that led you to pursue your true passion and purpose? And in particular, why education?
Yeah, great question. Education is something I you hear this a lot for people in business in their corporate career. It just sort of takes its own little pathway and you end up doing that, right? So I was working in a corporate job. I was head of, I was a commercial broker, finance broker. So I worked for a large organization, we'd franchised, and there's entry points to get into that industry. And I sometimes wonder the wisdom of my question to my boss, but I said to him, the entry point is Certificate 4. What if we wrote a diploma and asked the people who've joined our organisation as franchisees to really be 1 inch above the crowd and do things better and higher level than what is required as industry standard? He said, great idea, Joanne, put a business case to me. So I then spent the next 12 months writing the diploma of mortgage broking management through Deakin University. I got a partnership with them And we wrote that, and we ended up registering 50 franchisees. We were the first finance broker organisation in the country at the time to franchise, and we put the bar pretty high. And so I ended up in education because I suggested that we should do things better, 1 inch above the crowd than what everybody else is doing. He actually liked it. He did spend a lot of money. So anyway, we did do it. We got it done. And, we set the bar higher than what was industry standard. Set us in good stead.
And what is it about education? Did you love school? Like, do you love learning? What is it about that?
Yeah. I did love school, and I did well at school. I was a big studier, and I started the understanding the importance of study because I actually didn't have much choice. I remember when I was in grade 3, so what would I have been, 7 or 8, and television arrived, right? Television arrived. And every other family would get to watch television every night. And right through, myself and my siblings, right through to grade 12, we were not allowed to watch television at night time. So even at grade 3, I was instructed to go to my bedroom and do my homework. What homework? Well, I guess there was something. but that was a routine and a rhythm that I just stuck to through to the time I was 18 when I left school, that every night was spent in the bedroom, studying, relearning, all those sort of things. And so it served me well. And I guess I like the thrill of getting a good mark and all that sort of stuff. Nobody likes to not do well, except for chemistry. I didn't do so well in that, but that wasn't my passion. That was something my dad wanted me to do. So education has always been something I wanted to do. In fact, when I left school, I got accepted into university, and my dad was very old school. He had 2 sons older than me. They went and did education, but I wasn't allowed. So I got accepted into university. I only wanted to do an accounting degree. Actually got a job with an accounting degree wrapped into it. But the answer was no, even though I was 18. I didn't know any different. That was 1980, long time ago. Long time, showing my age here. So he told me to go and get a job. So I went and sat the bank exams, got a job. And I thought, well, if I can't go to university, I'll go to TAFE. So it took me 7 years, a ridiculously long time, to get a diploma in accounting. So twice a week I would drive and sit down for 3 hours, learn accounting, and drive home again. And it'd take nearly an hour to get there and back. So it was a long night, but I did that for 7 years and got my diploma. But it set me in good stead. I got the bank to support me. They paid for it. I got promotions. So I guess I learnt that education, bettering myself, gave me better career opportunities, and that proved to be the case. So I went to Brisbane and was writing commercial finance. I know how to write the finance for a shopping centre and the paint on the walls. And then I started teaching people how to do that. So it was just one of those natural transitions, and it just became part of, I can't tell you how many certificates and diplomas I've got. You did mention I've got my MBA, because I always wanted to do the university thing that I wasn't given the chance to do, and I completed that last year at 63. So I was pretty happy days.
Amazing. I bet that would have just felt, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how that would have
felt great. Yeah, there was tears. It came in the mail, and I went, oh, and now I can put letters. And I didn't do it for the letters. I did it, because I just wanted to know what it was like to go to university. And it was online. I didn't actually walk in a university campus, but still felt good. Felt good.
Oh, congratulations. It's amazing. And it is a really beautiful thing to do, isn't it, to teach people? Like, I teach Oracle and Tarot, but it's just so beautiful to
see the lights go off. Bing, 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 and you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah. And I learn too. I love learning from others that then I'm sort of sharing wisdom with as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can't tell you how many times, like, I often talk about the fact that I might have my clients and we're doing some mentoring, group mentoring, but I often feel that I'm not the expert in the room, that they're teaching me and teaching everybody else. That's the beauty of group mentoring, right? Like, it's just the conversation is rich, and you just learn so much.
Yeah. So when your business went into liquidation, what was the moment that you decided that this just was not going to be the end of the story? Like, do you remember, like, making a decision? Was it a feeling? What happened?
Yes. So the liquidation happened fast. We were an education company here in Australia. Some decisions were made, and we just couldn't keep it. So the board, I called an emergency board meeting. We made the decision. I went home, and I literally walked into my bedroom. My husband and my daughter just, thinking about what I've just told them. Closed the door, and I sank to the floor, and I was absolutely in a fetal position.
Mm.
It could have been 5 minutes, could have been 10 minutes. I have no idea how long it was. But at that point in my life, my daughter was was just finishing her grade 12. So I had in a very expensive private school. My husband retired because he was had diabetes at that point, and so he wasn't working. I was the only breadwinner, and I realised, I went, you know what, this is as low as I'm going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to pick myself up.
Yeah.
So I did. And I had a business partner who was incredibly kind, and he said to me in that week, because the flood of phone calls from clients, from students and all that sort of stuff, and he said, give me your phone. And my husband is Paul, and he said, Paul, take her away for a week and just give her a break. So we did. So we went away, no phone. I always remember my husband going, so where are we going? I said, no idea, I don't have my phone. And he didn't have a smartphone, so I went, well, let's just explore. So we went out to Warwick Way into the wineries and things, but that was always funny. But that was a very gracious thing my business partner did for me, to give me that space. And so when I came back, I went, okay, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of phone calls, a lot of people, and I need to go find a job.
Yep.
So I just started ringing people, and the fellow that I worked as in the finance broker, I rang him, I went and saw him, hadn't seen him for years. I sat in front of him and said, need a job. He said, you're on, let's go.
Yeah.
So, which was very kind.
Yeah. And I love that you, I think that there's real power in that, you acknowledging at first, feeling really low, but letting yourself get there, and also allowing that week off, because then I would imagine that would have then given you time and space to just, I don't know, feel, grieve everything, acknowledge it, yes, before then stepping in, instead of going, oh, well, I've got to toughen up and actually I've just got to move forward.
Yeah. It was a tough time. We decided we would sell our house, sold every asset we had to pay company debt. So had the biggest garage sale known to man. We were on acreage, and there was just so much to sell.
Yeah.
And had to go find a place to rent. We came down to the Gold Coast. We were in Brisbane then. And we wanted to be closer to Mum, but I also needed to be at the top of the coast so I could drive up to Brisbane every day, which is what I did for 3 years.
Yeah.
Drove up and down every day to Brisbane for work.
Yeah.
But, there was a lot of moving parts, so many moving parts, government agencies, ATO, ASIC liquidator, appointing one. Yeah. That's not fun at all. It's a pretty brutal process, and it's very black and white. But I have to say to you, Megan, that so many lessons from liquidating a company, which took 7 years. There was lots of moving parts because there were so many people. But there was a few golden moments there, because we were partnering with some of our largest competitors. And one of the competitors caused the liquidation, the closure of the business. And it was only later, because I got most of my staff employed by my competitor. I picked up the phone and said, okay, I'm closing my business. So I have 110 staff. How many do you want? And they took a lot of them. And they did an audit of our files, and we passed with flying colours. And I went, great, that's awesome. Good to know. Good to know that we were doing things well. But, there were so many moving parts to this that it could have got incredibly distracting. Having never rented before, that was a whole other journey that I had never experienced before. Not a pleasant thing. You've always owned your own home and things like that. But as I said, lessons were gold in that whole piece. The lessons of what it is to look and support staff, and what the consequences of that when that happened, when the liquidation happened. Yeah. I'll always remember the day that I announced that we were closing it. So didn't have Zoom then. So we had the Commander phone system, if you might recall. That was all, had all these bits on it. So I had 4 offices down the eastern suburbs. So they all dialed in, about 30 or 40 in Brisbane. And I said, I'm closing the doors today. And this was early November. I could have strung them along closer to December, but I said to the board, not going to do that to my staff because I don't want to tell them just before Christmas they've lost their job. I want to give them time to find a job. As I said, I've got a bunch of them employed by my competitors. But, what will always sit with me, and I often tell the story, and I still get goosebumps today, when I tell them that I'm closing the business, the next statement was, who might hang around unpaid to empty my office of furniture so I can sell it before the liquidators take it? Might have been a bit naughty, but I did it anyway. So I wanted to pay some bills. And 95% of them stayed.
Oh, okay. Now I've got the chills.
Oh, my God. So then this big circle of 30, 40 people just came around me, and it was like this big football hug. That was emotional in itself. Went up to my office, tears, feeling pretty crap. And one of my senior staff member comes up and hands me a card, and I went, oh, that was quick. He said, no, we bought that yesterday. We had a sense that something wasn't going well for you. We didn't know this was the decision, but we wanted to give you this card to say we support you and in whatever journey whatever's going to happen. And I went, oh, my gosh. And today some of those people are still my friends.
Yeah, so beautiful.
And that was such an amazing lesson because it took I've often reflected on what had them feel that way, that they felt that they could come and see me and give me a card and so on. And I just thought it was the little things that I did. Every office I was in, I would walk in and say good morning to every single one and say, how's your day? How's whoever, partner, daughter, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just made a point, like it could take me a few hours before I could start my day because of so many people. But I just felt that it was an important thing to do. And I went, wow, that really served its purpose. Not that I had a purpose in mind. I just wanted them to know that, we're building something big and massive here, and the pace is insane. But I see you and I hear you, and I want to acknowledge that you're doing an awesome job for my business.
It's true leadership.
Thank you.
True leadership. And from that HR background, right? Like, that's being a true leader. Because all we ever want as a human, but also as an employee, is to just be treated really well and kindness. And it's really not that difficult.
It's not hard. Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Yes.
How's Bobby, the 5-year-old? Or how's hubby going? Heard he had a cold.
Yeah.
What are you doing today? What's the plan?
Yeah. Being seen and heard.
I just wanted to look them in the eyes and say, I know I'm busy. I'm not here that often, but when I'm here, I'm here.
Yeah, beautiful. Wow. I love that. Really beautiful. And so with the challenges that you've had over the years, what about mental health and wellbeing? So has that played a part? Is it something that's newish to you, or is it something that's always been instilled with you?
Well, it certainly wasn't instilled in me. There's no doubt about that. I would say to you it's something that I practice proactively more than I ever had in the last 5 years. I definitely went and got some support and counselling. I had mentors around me. As I said, I went back to work for the fella that I consider him my lifelong mentor. Beautiful man. I've known him for 28 years. And he's always been a wonderful support. So I always knew the importance of surrounding myself with the right people, who, when they give me advice, they have the credibility that I should pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Because we're all surrounded by, I've got a whole bunch of beautiful girlfriends who've never run a business ever. And so they share, I have them ask me, when are you going to retire, Joanne? I went, don't know that I will. I really love what I do, so why should I?
Exactly.
Anyway, so it was, being mindful that, or the realization about 5 years ago, I subscribed to, a platform called Mind Valley. We've all heard it. And it introduced me to meditation and those sort of things. And I started doing it every day. There was a program that I jumped into that was a 28-day, then a 45-day. And I went, wow, I just feel better for it, lighter for it. And I remember someone asked me about this last week about meditation and taking space. So my word this year is space. Space for me, space for my clients, space for family, space. So I was trying to come up with a word for the year. And somebody asked me, so what's your meditation practice? Well, when I'm having a busy day and I'm just going, I need a break, I'll either go and stand on the grass. my husband might take me for a walk on the beach in the middle of the day, and I'll have a swim, and I have to have a shower again and get dressed and go back to work.
Yeah.
Or I literally sit on the floor in my study, close the door, and just take some moments, because the power of the mind, I can't emphasize enough how much that impacts the things that you want in life and the goals that you have. Like I continually surprise myself about the epiphanies that I have. And late last year, I realized I was receiving a lot of consulting work on something that I never promoted. And this was about working with people to start their own registered training organization. I would just get contract after contract that kept the food on the table, but I was building other things in Navigate that I wanted to particularly talk about. And the epiphany I had last year was, why am I pushing the rope on something that is not serving me? And then I had my human design profile done late last year, and I popped it into my wonderful friend called Claudette and said, this, you know what I've been doing. This is my profile. Where's the gap? Where's the things that aren't working? And it said, you need to rest more because your profile needs that. I went, oh, I do get tired during the day, and I'm going to stand on the grass, whatever. And why are you pushing the rope on something that nobody's buying? And I went, and the minute I made that decision, I just went, crikey, I feel lighter. Just feels so much lighter.
Yeah.
And so it was the acceptance of going, actually, I don't have to, as I often have said it for years, you don't have to push the rope, because pushing a rope, you're not going to get anywhere. You might get somewhere if you pull it. But if you push the rope, you just like hitting your head against a brick wall. Deeply believed in the online programs I have. They're there, invitation only. But I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to push it to anybody. But what I do talk about is what I know, how to build an education company, how to do it well, and how to structure courses, because we were hitting an 85% completion rate in the day when the average was 3.
Wow.
And I realised
3%.
3%.
3%.
3%. It was appalling, absolutely appalling. So this was 10, 15 years ago when everybody was getting student loans. Like this was a government initiative where some really bad behaviour happened out there. People were being signed up into courses they didn't know they were being signed up into, whole other conversation. And so the progression rate died. Now I've only ever delivered online, even longer than that. Like I've never done workshops, never done the tape format, only ever delivered online. So I'd worked out what I needed to do to have students complete, because most people think sign them up to online, they'll finish it because they're excited, they'll get it done. Well, that's actually rubbish. People don't. Online is lonely, is really lonely, and there's things that you need to do as a provider to ensure that these people get through their course. And so we were hitting 85% completion rate. It was unheard of.
Wow.
And I realised like last year, I went, oh, actually, there's a framework that I can strip out of there and share with people who don't own an RTO, a registered training organisation, that is transferable to people who want to create an online course that just to expand their reach and improve the client journey. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. And it feels, as I said, so much lighter. I've got an abundance of clients, and they just keep coming.
Wow.
Because I stopped pushing the rope.
Yeah.
I allowed the universe to provide me what I needed, and I take the rest when my body says, you've hit the wall, Joanne. Take the rest.
Yeah.
And I don't feel guilty.
Yeah, I love that.
And I still get lots of things done. Like people say to me, well, you're not there as early, Joanne, anymore, and you finish early. How do you get it all done? I just do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm focused in the moment, and then I step away.
Yeah. And also you're not, from a mental point of view too, your brain is getting rest because you're going and standing on the grass. You might go for a walk. And people, I think that this is where, from a mental health and wellbeing point of view, I think people get overwhelmed in the sense of, I've got to go to the gym for an hour, then I've got to sit and meditate for an hour, and then I've got to do this and this. And sometimes a 5-minute walk out into the sun and come back can completely shift everything.
And I used to do that. Now I do 15 minutes Pilates on the floor in my study,
Mm-hmm.
Then I go for a half an hour walk with my husband in the morning, and this is at 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And then I look after I care for my mum here as well, my
Mm.
95-year-old. So I get her sorted, get her showered and bathed and all those sort of things. And at some point I'm I'm at the desk.
Yeah.
But it's in and out.
Mm.
So there's lots of breaks, but what if I have to focus completely? The door's closed now because
Yeah.
we don't want a 95-year-old walking in behind me. She might. And that's okay. Like, we're used to that today.
Yes.
It's all
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
And what about from a grounding or inner alignment point of view? Do you find that, the feet on the grass or being in the water, do you feel it
Oh,
when you're back in
I do.
alignment?
Yeah, I actually feel it's a bit like a tingle goes down my entire body. I know what grounds me, and it's literally putting my feet on the grass or just walking on the beach
Yeah.
and my feet along the edge of the water.
Yeah.
I'm definitely I'm not an outdoorsy person. I don't go hiking around those sort of things, but
Yeah.
give me a chance to walk on a beach once a day.
Mm.
And on the weekends, we'll do it morning and night, my husband and I.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And in summertime, I have a swim. It's just it's half an hour. We're fortunate we live close. We don't take a lot of time, but by golly, it's a good reset. And it just, okay, cool. Well, the stress of the morning's gone if there was any, and now I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go, actually, I might just do a little bit tonight, my jammies. That'll do.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that with you reshifting and focusing and getting back into alignments, why you can still do the same amount of work in the less amount of time, because your mind's clear, your brain, everything about you is focused when it needs to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that. Love it. And so most people in business are taught to protect their ideas and guard their territory, and you're my competitor, and all of those sort of things. So what made you sort of go the complete opposite direction and collaborate with your competitors?
Yeah, it's such a good story. So if we go back to that large company we're building, so it was a registered training organisation delivering only the diploma business to business owners, online only. And I thought, well, online's hard. What can we do to improve the completion rate? So I acquired a number of businesses that supported the learning. I bought an accounting firm, law firm, HR company, marketing company, IT company, finance broker, finance planning company. Because when someone came through our door, and I charged 7 times the normal rate of a diploma, but as soon as they entered that ecosystem, we said, congratulations, you're going to do a diploma, but we're now going to give you accounting advice, do a marketing strategy for you, build your website, give you financial advice, get a plan together, all these things to help you build a really solid business with all the deep foundations that you need. So that was a collaboration in itself, bringing those people in to say, I want you to enhance the learning of my clients.
Yeah.
And they're now your clients because you've become part of the group. So I went, okay, so now we applied for funding, and the government said it's going to take 2 years. I went, well, I'm not waiting that long. So who's got funding? But what I realised about the funding is if you don't use it all, you can lose it. And if you don't manage it well, you'll lose it as well. So I said to my sales guy, I said, go find me companies that have the same qualification as us, who have the funding, because they're on a public register. And I said, and we're going to knock on all their doors. So because I was an RTO and so were they, what I showed them was I opened the door and let them look under the hood. So I gave them a 1-page business plan. They said, so how are you going to nurture clients? Oh, here's this lovely big workflow on an A3 sheet of paper. This is the customer journey. So I knew precisely, documented absolutely everything. And I said to them, I'm going to charge 7 times what you charge. So the cost of you delivering the same course, I'm going to give you the same amount of money just for giving me license to use your funding. You don't have to do anything. We're going to deliver it, and we're going to let you look at our data system, our CRM. You can look at everything for 6 months. After that, I will just send you a report. By that point, we've built a trusted relationship. A bunch said no. Absolutely a bunch said no. But 5 said yes. Large organisations that said, well, you do something that we can't. We're like the Queen Mary. You're like a little orange speedboat. we simply can't do what you do, but we can generate good income because for the pleasure of this allowing you to use some of our funding, which we can't fill up anyway.
Yeah.
So it was, we had the audacity to go and knock on the doors of organisations that were doing 65,000 students a year. We were doing 5 a month at that time. Then we got it to 200 a week. And that was sufficient. That was an enormous amount. But we were the first RTO to be, so we had systems in place. First RTO to be paperless, and we automated our compliance.
Right.
When I looked at the compliance of our industry, 40% of your turnover is compliance. It's insane. And I went, well, we can't do that. We have to, because I had 10 people sitting there entering all the enrolment forms. And I went, no, too much human error.
Yeah.
You haven't lost your job. You're going to pick it up and you're going to talk to every one of our clients and learners, and you're going to engage with them and talk to them, encourage them to go to the workshops with all our other specialist departments. That's how we hit 85%. Because you picked up the phone, you weren't alone. So they weren't the trainers. They were our student concierge. So they simply put up with them and said, how are you going? What's happening? What's going on in life? You getting study done? Who do I need to put you in front of so that they can help you with some tricky piece that you're studying?
Yeah.
And that system worked incredibly well. And so those organisations didn't have that at all.
Yeah.
They just delivered online or in a workshop and did the normal. We did something different.
Yeah. And I love that, it's amazing that you found 5 that then had the same thinking as you as well, is that collaboration is so much more powerful.
Yeah. And I guess for them, because I was a registered training organisation, held the same licence as those, I understood the risk and the governance that was required. So I made sure they got all the files they needed to do their reporting, and I let them into my database. I said, you can have viewing rights. You can see how many students are going. You can see all the conversations, all the emails, because we're the ones putting your license at risk, not me.
Yeah.
And they went, oh, well, that's fair. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And just lots of communication, lots of meetings, weekly meetings, meet all the senior management team, all the people I need to talk to, that you put them in front of my team. So it was being prepared to be vulnerable and to, as I said, let them look under the hood, because not everybody will do that. Oh, you can't look at my database. Actually, I can. Of course I can.
Yeah.
But I'm going to turn it off. And I also said to them, as soon as I get funding, we're out. We'll be doing it ourselves. Yeah. So I was upfront to say this is a period of however long the government takes, and you have a short window of seeing under the hood. Then I will just send you reports, because by that time we're all good friends. Everything's working out well.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's interesting too is that, I sort of, as an individual or even as an organisation, there's now 9 billion people in the world, right?
Plenty of business to be done.
There's no way possible that I could be the coach for everyone in the world.
Correct.
There's no way that you could be the only provider of training and education for everyone in the world.
I know, right?
And so I think that, to me, the competitiveness still astounds me.
I know.
In this day and age.
Yeah. It's interesting because I still do it today. Like, collaboration will always be my biggest success metric. I will always, who's got my audience in spades? So, there are coaches, there are other, like I'm talking to another organisation that that creates online corporate training. And so we're starting a conversation to have a collaboration to go, well, we do the same thing, but your audience is very different to mine. So what can we do to support one another? Because probably I'm going to come across somebody that I'm not going to serve, and vice versa. Yes. Or is there something that I do will enhance what you do, and vice versa?
Yeah.
So, you're right, because I think I've had this conversation with many, many coaches, and sadly a lot of them go, I'm a coach, you have nothing to show, you have nothing for me to learn from you. It's super interesting how many coaches don't have a coach.
Oh, I know. That just I've usually got 3 on the go at any one time.
Yes, I surround myself with all sorts of people, whether it's a formal arrangement or not, right? They're still my coach. I've got a sales coach. I've got a LinkedIn coach.
Yes.
I've got all those people. I don't know it all.
Yeah. And also, I want my clients who I'm coaching to know that I'm constantly up-leveling myself
Upgrading.
as well.
Exactly.
And I love when I've then had an aha moment with my coach, because then I give that aha moment to all
Share
my
that.
clients.
Yes. I know, right? Like, it's common sense to me.
Yeah, me
But
too.
anywho,
Anyway,
anywho,
we're not here
go
to
down
have
that
a
rabbit.
conversation about about
No,
resolving all of these issues
the
of the
world's
world.
problems. Exactly.
So, what about when someone comes to you, they're completely overwhelmed and trapped in that one-to-one model? So,
Yeah.
what's usually the first thing that you help them see?
So the first thing I help them to see is, because part of my business, not the consulting and RTOs, is to help service professionals who've got all that material and they're going, actually, we can't keep doing the one-to-one. It's exhausting. I've only got so much time, so many words, all those. Everything has limitations. The book, the podcast, the webinar, the speech. There's all limitations in some form. So what I'll say to them, a lot of them will come to me and go, well, I want to create an online course, but I don't want to write it. I went, well, actually, let's do an inventory of what you've got. So you've written a book? Oh, yeah. My own, or a anthology? Cool, you've got some content. How often do you post on social media? Yeah, I do a lot of articles and blogs. Yeah, cool. And how often do you speak on podcasts or webinars or masterclasses, etc.? Well, I do that all the time. And how many one-on-ones do you have? Lots. How many words get lost off those? Don't get included. Well, loads. Okay, cool. So you have all those resources. So what I'm going to help you to do is put it all together and pick up all the words that didn't make all those resources, like the words that didn't make the book, the words that didn't make the speech, or the masterclass, or you couldn't go deep enough with your client on your one-on-one because you had another client waiting. Let's make sense of all that and put it in an online course that feels for your clients as though you're giving them a great big hug and they're going wider and deeper than they ever thought they could with you. And they go, oh, see, I've got it already. Yeah, you have. So you don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
I will help you make sense of it. I don't have to be the topic expert. I'm the expert on putting that course together.
Yeah.
And that often is when they go, oh, well, that's a relief. Gosh, I thought I'd have to spend hours writing this thing.
Yeah.
No, you've already got it.
Yeah.
We'll just reshape it and put it together. We just got to put it all in one Google Drive and let me make sense of it all.
So it's also helping them get themselves out of their head and then
Correct.
looking at what they already have, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because so often they've got so much.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
So much. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was saying, well, you wrote the book. Yeah. So how many words did you take out of it? How many chapters did you take out? Well, yeah, there was lots because there was printing costs and so many words and deadlines. Went, whoa. So what are you doing with that stuff? Yeah. Oh, yes. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring it back together.
Yeah. I love that. I love it. I'd love to just take us back a couple of minutes of when I read out your bio, because you made a comment about that. And I love when I read out someone's bio. It's particularly why I keep the person on screen, because it's really lovely for you to just have an opportunity to just reflect on how far you've come, which I think is really lovely. So when I was reading out your bio, was there anything that really stuck to you that you're really proud of?
I feel that I keep picking myself up, that, you know what, life happens, business is hard. I learnt that a long time ago. And there will always be for people across the globe, there's always a liquidation, administration, a bankruptcy, a COVID, a GFC, a war in the Middle East. There is always something. And so for me, I have this ability to find the opportunity in that. Like we always hear about, the golden line, the silver lining of the bad things. I just seem to have this capability to see what those are and go, actually, okay, next, that's done. Don't dwell on it. Yeah, did I wish it didn't happen? Absolutely. But there's been some bloody great gold moments along the way. And I know I'm not done.
Yeah.
I know I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So what is what does the rest of 2026 and 2027 look like for you? If you could share some things.
Yeah. Well, for my husband and I, we are saving for another home. We haven't owned our own home since the liquidation. So by the end of next year, I want our own home back.
Yeah.
And, the interesting thing is we had a large property on acreage with, 5 sheds. He had full of tools. God knows why he needed them all, but he did. And the interesting thing in this journey for both myself and my husband is our needs are now humble. 3-bedroom house, 2-bathroom, nice yard for the dog.
Yeah.
Somewhere close that we can go for a walk. Like my desire for the great big things are not there anymore. A very personal one for me is to see my mum out.
Yeah.
She's 95 and a half. I don't know how long I got for her. It makes me emotional.
Yeah.
But I feel very blessed that I can look after her.
Yeah.
And she's amazing. Like, she's sitting at the sewing machine sewing.
Is
That's for 8 hours a day.
What is she sewing?
She sews reversible bags. So instead of using plastic bags, she makes them, and she just gives them away. So I find places to buy the material or get it given to her, and she gives them out. But she said to me yesterday, there was some nice material. She said, Joanne, I think I want to make a vest. I went, you what? She said, I want to make a vest. I went, will you wear it? Yeah. It'll go with my bone pants beautifully. So I went and ordered a pattern for her. She hasn't used a pattern in 50 years, I reckon. So we'll have a project to make a vest for her.
Wow. And do you think that that's an energy that you've gotten from your mum, that,
there's no doubt.
Keeping away and just constantly working and being of service for others?
Oh, absolutely. Like, my mother went back to work at 60 as a nurse and worked for another 20 years as a theatre nurse. And she only resigned because she literally got hit in the head with a golf ball and had concussion and couldn't work any longer. Hated not working. And so she has sewn since. And she's, a few years ago, she said to me, Joanne, don't get cross, but these bags, I've taken them to the local greengrocer and they sell them and I get free fruit and veg. Way to go, Mum.
Fantastic.
Free haircuts, free fruit and veg.
Wow. Good on her. Yeah. I love that. No wonder look, honestly, that energy of hers must just be so invigorating.
Yes, just rubs off.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. She's an amazing gal.
Yeah, beautiful. Have you got someone, like a client that you've worked with recently, that you could share? They may have come to you and they were overwhelmed, and what sort of things that you helped them with and where they're at now?
Absolutely. So I've got a client who's a chartered practicing accountant, and she came out of corporate, just started her business, and she said, I've written a book, and it's had 30,000 words in it. She said, I want to turn it into a course. I went, great. It was just a Word document. She said, I don't know how to do it, not sure. So we've managed to get chapter 1 put into module 1, chapter 2 into module 2. She's a local gal. I see her at local news networking events, constantly on social media, and all she does is talk about her course that is coming. And I had to get her comfortable to not use stock video footage, but to record herself. Now she is all over LinkedIn and she is on screen and she's talking about her business. And I went, that's bloody marvellous.
Wow. Absolutely. That visibility, though, is very important.
It is. As I said to her, people buy you first and then your course, because she was very hesitant about not using stock footage and not using her face. And I went, and I said, I don't care if you swear, if you stumble, if you forget what you're saying. It doesn't matter. People love the human.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's I love that you've raised that too, because I think for anyone listening, I would never buy a product or a course or anything with someone who I couldn't find somewhere on social media or LinkedIn or a website or something. Like, I'm not going to buy from someone who's not visible.
I know, right? And that's the failure of so many online courses. They get promised they will turn up every week, and they're recorded webinars. Please don't do that. I have my recorded video webinars in my courses, but they're an additional resource. They are not the content. That's just, it's lazy. And it's not the truth.
Yeah. The visibility piece is quite interesting.
Yes.
And it's funny, actually, because a couple of my coaches say to me, well, Megan, clearly we don't need to work on your visibility.
Yes, indeed, you nail it. Absolutely nail it. Yes, yes, yes.
And so if someone's listening and they feel the connection to what you've shared today, what would you suggest the next step for them?
Well, for me, I would just love a conversation. I love having conversations with women to help them to understand that, the overwhelm doesn't need to be there. You don't have to start from scratch. You've already got the content. But this CPA has never run a business before, and she just wrote a document that was her heart and soul about what she wanted to deliver, and we created a course out of it. And I think the only other thing to be mindful of is growth is amazing and wonderful. Just watch your pace, because building a $30 million business in 24 months was its undoing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a huge lesson for me.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that you've touched on that pace piece as well, because the pace comes in different forms, doesn't it? We're so excited to be creating something, and then a
Yes.
week later, if it's not nailed, sometimes we can give up because we're like, oh my God,
Correct.
I can't believe that I've
Like
launched this a week ago and nothing's happened.
Yes. I know, right? Yes. Yes.
Patience, I think, is a big
Patience.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 80% is perfection to me. Don't try and seek 100%. And as I said to my CPA client, you can start delivering your course once you've got module 1 done. You don't have to have it finished. We can play catch up. So she's chosen to have 2 modules ready before she launches, and then she will build the rest up behind, because that's perfectly valid. So, you can take it to market much quicker than you think.
Yeah. Oh, I'm learning a lot from you, because you and I have had a chat about the things that I'm creating too. So I'm getting quite a few aha moments right now. So I love it. And so we've talked about what's next for you. Do you think that, like, from year to year, do you have a way that you reflect on what you've done or where you've come from like is it an annual reflection? Like, how do you reflect on where you've even been from last week to now?
I endeavour every morning to wake up and just think about 3 or 5 things I'm grateful for.
Fantastic.
And so sometimes it's something from a long time ago, sometimes it's something from yesterday.
Yep.
Like my mother wanting to make a vest. Well, I'm going to facilitate that come hell or high water. If my 95-and-a-half-year-old mother wants to learn how to sew from a pattern again, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
She comes into me and she says to me, "Can I have an ice cream, Joanne?" I said, A, you don't need to ask me. B, if you want 5 today, I'll give you 5. I don't actually 95.5. Who cares? I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And I love that it's a daily thing for you, because I think what happens with, when we're high achievers, that we forget to look back. We forget to remember where we've come from, even from the last week to this week. I think it's so important. So I love that that's a daily thing. Yeah.
And it just happens naturally. Like, it's not something that's hard. And sometimes it's just in the walk to go get our coffee, walking the dog. And what I puzzle with when I see people who are either running or walking, they've all got their ears in.
Yeah.
You're in the beautiful, why aren't you saying thank you, tree, for this beautiful shade that you're giving me, or whatever. I want to be present in my walk. I don't want to be distracted with, and they might be listening to a book or a podcast, all very well, but not my thing.
Yeah. My husband sometimes says to me, "I think you need to go and hug a tree."
Trees are amazing.
I know.
Do they sing songs? Do you know they do?
Yes.
Do you know those songs? You put electrodes on them in the orchestra that comes out of a tree.
They're incredible.
They're incredible.
Yeah. And I get really guided to particular ones around our plate. We've got lots of gum trees, and when I'm on my walk, some of them talk to me and say, like, I need a hug, or I need, like, sometimes I just need to put my hand on them because I get that.
You can feel the energy.
Oh, yes. And I also love finding faces in tree trunks.
I know, right? Yes.
And once you find them, when you walk past, it's like they're watching you. I love that.
Fun.
Oh,
so fun.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I knew that this conversation would fly by. I know, told you. Yeah, so we've actually only got a couple of minutes left. So I'm going to
Yes.
ask you, I love asking these questions. It's the same question that I ask all of my guests before we finish
Yes.
our conversation. So, Joe,
Yes.
what is one lesson or truth that you've learned on your journey that you wish you had known earlier?
I'm going to go back. I'm going to take two.
Good.
One, pace. Pace was so important. We were. I remember when we were doing 200 students a week, and I felt to myself, I can't get off this wheel. It's going too fast. But if I did come off it, the whole thing will collapse, and that is the case. That's what happened. So pace for me is such an important thing. If we had stretched it out and had taken more notice of the micro moments, things would have been very, very, very different. And as I say to everybody, because I call myself the circle builder, surround yourself with people who can support you, lift you, challenge you, guide you, hold you to accountability, and that circle will shift and change constantly. Mine does constantly. Find those people, but have the sense to know that when people who are giving you guidance that don't have the experience, like my beautiful girlfriends who've never owned a business, I know that I don't need to take that on board. So have that innate sense to go, thank you, I receive it with love, and I send it back to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being caring of me. My mum says the same. When are you going to stop working, Joanne, tonight? Well, I love what I do, Mum. It's not work.
Yeah.
But she says it with love. I know that.
Yeah.
So I don't take it on board.
So pace. Yep.
Pace.
And what was the other thing?
The right circle of people.
Yeah.
And to know that the people you surround yourself with and the people you take notice of are the people that you should have the credibility. The family, the friends who just love you and give you commentary, receive it with love. And that's all you need to take it for.
I love that, the commentary. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Get a lot of it.
Yes.
We do.
Oh, thank you so much for being with
Thank
me
you.
today. I am just filled with love and gratitude and joy for
Same,
spending
Megan.
this time.
Thank you. You'll be on my gratitude comment tomorrow morning, I feel.
Oh, thank
It
you.
was so good.
Thank
I
you.
love these conversations. They're so rich.
Really beautiful. Yeah. And you're just so inspiring. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I'd also like to thank all of my amazing and dedicated audience, my supporters, and again, my sponsors. Thank you so much. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of the week. And I'll see you all again next week. And again, thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.